few months ago, I spent almost 2 hours doing something on my computer that ChatGPT could have helped me finish in about 4 minutes. 2 hours. For something that didn't need to take 2 hours. And honestly, the frustrating part wasn't just the wasted time. It was realizing I didn't even know ChatGPT could help with that kind of task. A lot of people still use ChatGPT like a fancy search box. Ask a question, get an answer, copy the answer, and then do all the work yourself. But that's changing. In this video, I'll show you 4 ways ChatGPT can now act more like a digital assistant, especially if you're newer to AI or over 50. I'll show you the safest task to try first, and I'll warn you about one setting you really don't want to ignore. Because if you get that setting wrong, ChatGPT can move very quickly in the wrong direction. I'm Roll, and for a long time, technology frustrated me more than it helped. I usually knew what I wanted to accomplish. I just didn't know which buttons to press, which menu to find, or how to move information from one app to another. I assumed AI was mostly for technical people. Then I stopped asking ChatGPT only for answers and started asking it to help me complete the steps. That changed the way I work, and now I want to show you how you can use it without all the jargon and confusion. All right, let's make this practical.
Step 1. Websites. The first big change is that ChatGPT can help you work with websites. Normally, you might ask ChatGPT to write something for you. It gives you the answer, and then you take over. You copy the text, you open another website, you paste it, you fix the formatting, you upload the images, and then you do it all over again next week. I used to spend about 40 minutes every Sunday moving my newsletter into my publishing platform. 40 minutes every week. That adds up to almost 34 hours a year, nearly a full work week just copying and pasting. With an in-app browser, ChatGPT may be able to help you work inside a website while you're logged in. For example, you could say, "Help me move this finished newsletter into the draft on this website. Keep the formatting, place the images in the right sections, and stop before publishing so I can review it." Now, notice those last few words, stop before publishing. That matters. You're not handing over the keys and walking away. You're asking ChatGPT to prepare the work, and you still get the final say. When I tested this with my own newsletter, ChatGPT was able to help move the article into the publishing platform, place images, apply formatting, and even prepare some of the supporting details. That kind of workflow used to involve a lot of repetitive clicking. Now, there is a catch. Websites change. Buttons move. Sometimes ChatGPT can misunderstand what it sees. So before you send, publish, or submit anything important, review it yourself. But the next capability surprised me even more, because it involves the programs already installed on your computer. Step 2. Computer apps. The second capability is called computer use. In simple terms, this means ChatGPT may be able to interact with applications on your computer, not just websites. That could include documents, spreadsheets, email, presentations, and other programs you already use. You know that feeling when you're looking at a long spreadsheet and you're pretty sure something is missing, but you have no idea where to start? You could say, "Open this spreadsheet, find the rows missing contact information, and give me a summary. Don't change the original file." Or, "Open this document and turn these messy notes into a clean, one-page report. Leave the original notes unchanged." That's a lot easier than trying to remember which menu to open, which filter to choose, and where the formatting options are hiding. In my own work, I'm constantly turning rough notes, content ideas, and long explanations into something people can actually read. Normally that means sorting the information, deciding what belongs where, and formatting everything manually. Now I can ask ChatGPT to create a first version, and then I can review it and tell it what needs to change. That's the important distinction. It's not replacing my judgment. It's helping me get past the blank page and the first round of tedious work. And this is the part I really like for beginners. You don't necessarily need to know the technical name for every action. You can describe the result you want in normal language. Maybe you're thinking, "Roll, do I need to be a programmer for this?" No. You need to explain the task clearly, and you need to check the result. That's really the main thing. Start small. Ask it to summarize a document. Ask it to identify missing information. Ask it to create a copy instead of changing the original. And now we get to the feature that makes ChatGPT feel less like a helper you open manually, and more like an assistant that can work on a schedule. Step 3. Scheduled tasks. Scheduled tasks might be one of the most useful ideas in this whole video. Think about something you do again and again. Maybe you check messages every morning, prepare a report every Monday, review comments, organize files, collect the same information from the same websites. The first time, the task might be fine. By the 100th time, though, it gets old. So instead of repeating the instructions every single time, you can set up a recurring task. For example, every weekday morning, review these new items, summarize the important ones, and give me a list of anything that needs my attention. I use this kind of workflow for tasks that involve reviewing new information and sorting out what deserves my attention first. That is helpful because I don't have to start from a blank screen every morning. I can come back to a summary and decide what I want to handle myself. But here's the part most people miss. You need to be specific. Don't just say, check my messages. Say something more like, review my new messages, flag anything urgent, ignore promotional messages, and give me a short summary. Do not send any replies. See the difference? The second instruction tells ChatGPT exactly what to look for and what not to do. That makes it safer and more useful. And unlike a simple rule that only follows the same pattern every time, ChatGPT may be able to interpret the information and organize it based on your instructions. But please be careful with tasks involving hiring, money, private information, or sensitive personal data. ChatGPT can help organize information, but important decisions should stay with you. And speaking of things ChatGPT can help create, let's talk about documents and visuals. Step 4. Content and visuals. ChatGPT can also help turn an idea into something you can actually use. A flyer, a presentation slide, a community announcement, a newsletter, a social media post, a simple report. Before, you might have needed one program to write the words, another program to create the image, and another one to resize everything. That gets tiring pretty quickly. I use this kind of process for content and announcements. The first version isn't always perfect, and that's okay. The useful part is that I can ask for changes without starting over. You could say, create a simple 16:9 image for a community technology workshop. Use large, readable text, high contrast, calm blue and white colors, and a clean layout. Then you can guide the result. Make the text bigger. Use fewer colors. Make it easier to read on a phone. Create a more professional version. You're just steering it. You're not starting over from scratch each time. And honestly, that's how most people should use AI. Give it a clear starting point, look at what it produces, and then tell it what needs to change. Now here's where things get really interesting. The individual features are useful, but the bigger benefit comes from combining them. Imagine a weekly routine where ChatGPT reviews new information from a website, organizes the important details into a spreadsheet, writes a short summary, and prepares a simple visual report for you to review. That's not just asking a chatbot a question, that's a series of tasks working together. And that's what I mean by a digital assistant. The real benefit isn't one flashy feature, it's fewer steps, less copying and pasting, less switching between screens, less hunting for that one button you can never seem to find. Now remember the mistake I mentioned at the beginning, the one that can let ChatGPT change something you never wanted it to touch? Here it is. People turn off approval because they want everything to move faster. I understand the temptation, but when you're just getting started, keep approval turned on. That way, ChatGPT can prepare the work, show you what it found, and wait for your permission before it sends, publishes, deletes, purchases, or changes anything important. Think of approval as your safety check. Start with a task that is repetitive, low risk, easy to review, not connected to sensitive information. For example, review this document and create a summary. Do not change the original. That's a good first task. I would not begin with banking information, medical records, legal documents, passwords, or anything that could cause serious problems if misunderstood. ChatGPT can be powerful, but it can still make mistakes. It can misunderstand an instruction. It can miss an important detail. The person in charge is still you. Always you.
So, why go back to ChatGPT? Because it's becoming more than a place to ask questions. Depending on your account, device, and available features, it may be able to help you work with websites, computer applications, documents, spreadsheets, visuals, and recurring tasks. You don't need to learn everything today. Just choose one task that frustrates you. Maybe it's copying information between websites. Maybe it's organizing a spreadsheet. Maybe it's preparing a report or creating a simple flyer. Ask ChatGPT to help you prepare it, keep approval turned on, and review the result before anything important happens. That's how you start using ChatGPT as a digital assistant with fewer steps, less frustration, and more confidence. If this video helped you understand what ChatGPT can really do, subscribe for more simple, practical technology lessons. And leave a comment telling me this. What is one computer task that makes you want to throw your laptop out the window? The most common answer may become my next video. Thanks for watching.